And welcome guys to a video on our tower defense tutorial. Now this will be a small video because I guess a lot of people like it when it's smaller and things. So we still got our building system and everything, and we're going to be changing this slowly but gradually. I'm going to do one of the states and tell you guys how to do the changeover and things, but the first one that we're going to take a look at is the shop state. Okay, and this is going to be to simplify everything. Like, I'm talking, this is going to simplify your life big time. So shop is now got an interface for panel object, which panel object is now a interface instead of a inherited class. Okay, so all you do is take your panel object, you change it from a class here to a interface, and I believe it was abstract as well, and then you change all your functions that looked something like this. Like this right here, change them all to this. Okay, you'll have these functions right here. You'll probably have an inheritance, I believe, on here as well. Just knock that completely off because it really didn't do anything anyway, and it will probably become obsolete later on. So that takes care of the panel object. Well, in our game manager and everything else, that ran a lot of stuff for the panel object as well. So we are going to have to go into our game manager. I know this one's a little different from what you guys have, but the principle still stands. Panel object, state behaviors, get and set. All the functions are still the same. You're going to go do your switch state that requires a signature of what you want to go to and things, and there you go. So that's still the same. Mine isn't static like yours, but it doesn't matter. It's just a referencing type thing. You guys should be able to handle the difference between a static and that anyway. So panel object, we've talked about that. So I'm going to go into our upgrades thing. Now, when it comes to our shop. Our shop used to be a inherit from panel object. We got to put we have to put the interface on it. So you just do blank, your semicolon thingy, and then type in panel object, which should be pretty easy for you guys. And you won't have item database. Just put mono behavior here. It'll work just fine. But I have item database because it's serving a different purpose than what you guys have. And it's for a later video to very, very simplify this project, like big time. Trust me, when you guys see this class, you're going to be like, oh my god. It's going to be so much easier. Secondly, this is how you swap your classes over to this. This is perfectly fine. If you guys don't know how to use interfaces, please look in the channel. There is a video on interfaces, the good and the bad. This will give you enough of a rundown on that video to know how to change this over and use the interface. So if you guys are lost on interfaces, please go watch that video on the channel. I'll try to link it in the description if I remember, but I can't promise you anything. Now, because of the way this works and operates, we are going to first look at our Base modes we can't look at right now. That's a new class. But we have to go into modes, because modes deals with a lot of our state changing. Go from shop to research to whatever, right? That is like the master class for going from swapping from one to the other. We need to go over to this anyway and talk about what modes really does. Modes pretty much sets up icons and spawns buttons. Well, in this spawn modes button, we used to have this big long function right here. This one, that was super long. Even if I zoom out, this is still pretty long. I never like functions like these. Never, 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 never. Because it's very difficult to see what's going on here, because you're searching through the lines. So I require a signature on a very small button. This is a public, because I don't care if they spawn. You know what? If you guys want to spawn like multiple ones of these, it won't matter. It will do the same thing over and over again. So we shouldn't even give a crap if they call this function multiple times. If they want to hack in and like put 6 or 7 build buttons into the list thing right there, who cares, right? Who really cares? All right. So there we go. So I put modes right here. This you're probably like, well, this isn't listed. And then there's base modes. What does base modes actually do? Base modes is a fantastic class that I designed up just for this and spawning our own buttons. It's actually really nice to have. And it looks like this. And you're like, what the heck is going on here? Right? Well, public class base modes from button object. Button object is nothing. Okay? But you're like protected static modes? Modes? Really? Why do you have these? Well, this is pretty much like our container class for player, but these are accessible by anything that inherits from base modes. And because these are static, you can only have one of these. This becomes one. Okay? Let's say I spawn like 7 versions of this. My compiler in the game will only allow one of these inside the program. One of these variables. That's it. It will be statically only one. So when I fill out one of these variables, like let's say in this one, I go modes, and then it equals this. This variable is now filled in. Okay? And it will, because it's static and everything, it will, anything that inherits from base modes will therefore have the reference. So once modes, this class fills in modes, everything that inherits from base mode will get it. So let's say okay, here's a good example. See base modes.set, and it like calls up this. This fills in a shop variable. Okay? A shop variable. It doesn't care what script it is because it's static, and it will only allow one of these to ever. You could change it and everything else still, but it will only allow one of these variables for like a pointer reference. Okay? It's just like going GameObject.find player, and there can only be one player in the game, I guess. It will just go straight to it. It's very, very simple and a very easy design. When we get to buttons and actually let's get to buttons right here. Let's get a button right here, and this will state something a lot easier than what you guys probably are thinking right now. Okay, base modes. See the state, the mode state. This is another class that inherits from base modes. See? So base modes, we do action and everything, but watch this, watch this. We go into here, building go, we go game manager.instance.switch state, and we slap build. We don't have a variable right here. Okay, build, and we go shop, and we go upgrades. You see the idea right here? All these variables where I'm swapping states is all filled in by our base modes class. Every one of these is filled in by our base mode class. So when we fill in one of these, any class that inherits from base modes will be able to take all the modes and be able to push the variables any which way they want inside of a button. And that is the biggest advantage of it. The disadvantage is those references, there's only one of them, which is fine for what we're doing. It doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, it's not going to matter the way that we've got it anyway. I mean, in our game, there's only us, okay? And not everyone is going to need to be able to push those states anyway. Even if it was multiplayer, okay, our buttons should only affect us. So you would do something like some type of is player mine, is player mine, is player mine callback all the time. And there you go. So yeah, it's like I was sitting there saying, but this class right here is nice. This one is beautiful for this. Now you're probably thinking, well, why don't we just, you can make this public, but I didn't want any other class to be able to access this. Because if you're not something that's pushing these states, you shouldn't have access to these variables. You shouldn't be able to go into like shop right here and go base modes dot let's say build equals this, something like that. You shouldn't be able to do that. That's dumb programming. But setting the shop from the shop makes sense to me. Okay, just like modes, setting the modes inside of this class makes sense to me. Okay, because it's dealing with itself. Okay, now shop, you're gonna freak out because this right here, don't freak out. This is very, very easy to deal with. Okay, this game resources is about to go bye-bye as well. Okay, it really is. It's about to go bye-bye. A lot of these things are about to go bye-bye. So I think I'm going to end the video at this point because you guys are going to have to figure, well, let's say this much. That base modes thing, I want you guys to mess around with the idea and kind of think about it, because it's not something that you guys are probably used to. And if I were to keep going, you would have a lot more functions and stuff like that that you're going to have to deal with and try to get working. And I don't want to like blow you guys' mind with the changes too much all at once. Okay, I don't want to push out like a bunch of changes all at once, because that's an easy way to get lost. Smaller just seems better. Even when I'm programming and stuff like that, I make small changes in sections, because if you don't, you usually end up causing yourself a lot of headache. So I'm going to end this video and probably upload another one right after this anyway. And you know, just take it easy, guys, and you know, just pause it if you get lost, and if you don't understand the concept, just make sure that you just keep rewatching and keep playing with the idea, because once you guys learn what this script is doing and the change that I made to this, you're gonna love it. You're gonna be like, oh my god. And this is going to be coming to the FPS as well, because it's going to be a lot easier to deal with. So take her easy, guys, and you know, just keep on trucking, you know. But thanks for watching. Peace out, everybody, and take care.